Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to break down a professional development blueprint that really flips the script on how we think about teacher training. It tackles this huge challenge, how to get our classrooms ready for the future, but it does it in a super focused, 4-hour journey that teachers can actually do on their own time. So let's dive in and see how it works. It all boils down to this one single question. What actually makes a learning unit future ready? And that's not just a buzzword. This question is the engine for this entire experience because it forces us to stop just tweaking old lesson plans and instead to really fundamentally rethink what our goals are for student learning. And here's the kicker. The blueprint we're exploring is designed to tackle that massive question in just 4 hours. That is so key. This isn't some semester-long course. It's a concrete, actionable plan that totally respects a teacher's most valuable resource, their time, while still aiming for a huge impact. So let's get into part 1, a future-ready question. The whole thing is framed like a quest, and it all starts with this core inquiry. It's all about figuring out what future-ready really truly means in the classroom. And here is the roadmap for that quest. This 6-step journey is so intentionally designed. It takes teachers all the way from just getting their bearings to making a concrete commitment for their own classroom. Let's see how all these pieces fit together. All right, let's look at part 2, priming for inquiry. See, the plan doesn't just throw a bunch of new content at you. These first couple of phases are absolutely crucial for setting the stage and just getting your mind ready for the deep thinking that's about to happen. The journey kicks off with a quick 15-minute orientation. The goal is simple, but it's so vital. Create a safe space to think, set really clear expectations, and just get the brain warmed up for inquiry. It's like building the foundation before you even think about putting up the walls. Next up is the engage phase. This is a 45-minute dive into our own assumptions. Teachers get to look at different artifacts, like a traditional worksheet on one hand versus a student-led project on the other. And it just helps to activate what they already know and lets them start noticing the differences for themselves. And this is not a passive experience, not at all. The deliverable is crystal clear: 3 posted observations and 1 quick write. So right from the get-go, participants are actively engaged and contributing, not just sitting back and consuming information. Okay, now we get to part 3, which is really the heart of the whole plan. Exploring 4 foundational mindsets that really define what a future-ready unit is all about. Now, what's really telling is when you look at how the time is spent. You can see right away that the explore phase takes up the biggest chunk of time, a full 90 minutes. This visual just screams that understanding these mindsets is the absolute core of this entire 4-hour experience. So first up is inquiry. This is all about shifting from what do I need to know for the test to, hey, what cool questions can we ask? It's about making curiosity and that sense of discovery the real engine of learning. Second, we have equity. And this is so important. It's not just about access. It's about intentionally designing learning that has low floors and high ceilings, meaning it's accessible for every single student to get started, but it's also challenging enough to push every learner to grow. Third on the list is agency. This one is a huge shift. It means giving students a real voice and genuine choice. And I'm not talking about just picking their project color. I mean having a real say in the topics they dig into and the ways they can show what they've learned. And finally, authentic audience. This is all about breaking down the classroom walls. So instead of writing an essay just for the teacher, students are creating something for a real audience with a real purpose, which makes the work so much more meaningful. And once again, this is active learning. Teachers use a note catcher to jot down what each mindset is and what it actually looks like in practice. Then they do a little mini analysis of a sample unit, hunting for hard evidence of these mindsets in action. Okay, so after digging into those 4 mindsets, we move to part 4, from theory to practice. This is that critical step where teachers start to pull together everything they've learned and apply it to their own world. In the 60-minute explain phase, it's time to apply it all. Teachers draft their own answer to that big question from the very beginning. And importantly, they don't do it in a vacuum. They get into structured peer feedback to challenge and sharpen their own thinking. This brings us to part 5, which is honestly the climax of the whole journey. It's called the Future Ready Shift, and it's designed to create that huge aha moment where the change in thinking becomes totally crystal clear. And this illustrates that shift just perfectly. The reflection map asks teachers to put a traditional unit and a future-ready one side by side. I mean, look at these prompts. It's a move from the teacher as the expert to the teacher as a facilitator, from an audience of one in the classroom to an authentic audience. This right here is the transformation. And here's a really smart piece of the design. The plan actually models what it teaches. Just like we want to give students agency, teachers get choices in how they complete their reflection map. It's such a powerful way to, practice what you preach. So let's put it all together. This timeline gives us that bird's eye view of the entire 4-hour flow. You can see the intentional buildup, starting small with orientation, moving to that deep dive in the explore phase, and then it all culminates in personal application with the reflection map. The experience doesn't just kind of fizzle out. It ends with a forward-looking action. In the last 15 minutes, each teacher makes a simple but really powerful commitment, just 1 or 2 sentences about their very next step. And that right there transforms the learning from just an idea into a real plan. And that leaves us with a final thought. If you were given 4 hours for your own professional growth, how would a focused, inquiry-driven blueprint like this one change what you expect and maybe more importantly, what you could actually achieve?